welcome back. So today we're going to talk about 3 different things you and your family can do to start the process of thinking about what's in your food, the nutrition you're putting in your body. So if you're new here, please subscribe and like. My name is Shalane and this is the Paradise Homestead. So a few years ago, we're not going to talk about what was going on in the world, but it made us start questioning things that we're doing in our daily life. One of our major things was, what do they put in our food? So when you start looking at all the ingredients that are in foods we're buying at the store, like where to start changing was kind of overwhelming. And so the first thing that we did was we changed our salt. So instead of just buying generic salt at the store, we researched how salt was actually being made and processed, and I encourage you to go look that up as well. So the first thing we did to start our change was we changed our salt. So either Celtic salt, which for a while was kind of hard to find, so we ended up going with Redmond real salt, and we've been really happy with that. So that's something simple that you can change to start incorporating natural minerals into your diet, which all of our bodies need natural minerals. So that's the first thing you can do. The second thing I'm going to show you is how to make your own mayonnaise, if that is something you are even eating. I know there are some better mayonnaise out there, but the very first ingredient in most mayonnaise is soybean oil. So we're going to make one with avocado oil, and I'll show you the process. So this is just a glass jar I have saved, and then the most important tool to use for making mayonnaise is an immersion blender, and I will link in the description the one I have. It was cheaper because I wanted to buy something that was going to work, but then it cost a bunch of money, and we've had this for over a year and it's worked great. And the third thing I'm going to show you that you can change is how to make your own coffee creamer with only 3 ingredients. So let's get started. All right, so next we're going to talk about making our own mayonnaise. So the things you're going to need is avocado oil, or one that that doesn't really taste like anything. And you're going to need spicy mustard, or just regular mustard will work just fine. Some salt, a lemon, and 2 eggs. And like I said earlier, the most important part is having an immersion blender. If you don't have this, it won't get the right consistency, and I've tried shaking it and other ways and blending it, and like this works the best. So we're going to start out by measuring out 1.5 cups of oil. So I'll just put that into my jar, and I've marked on here where 1.5 cups is, so, or you can just measure it, doesn't matter. So we'll put 1.5 cups in. There we go. And next we're going to add 2 eggs. And I already have one cracked into a bowl here. Put that in. And then I think the actual recipe calls for a tablespoon of mustard, but we're just going to, that looks good. Maybe a little bit more. And then we're going to put a little bit of salt. I think the recipe calls for a teaspoon, which we'll give it about a teaspoon. That seems about right. We'll do that. And then the last thing is we're going to take the juice of half of a lemon, and this is kind of a natural, this is to help make it last longer. So we'll just squeeze half the lemon in there. And after you make this, I feel comfortable eating it for up to a week afterwards. So you can put a little date on the top, or just make a mental memory of it. And then that's all the ingredients it takes. And then you just get your handheld blender, immersion blender, whatever you call it. And then when you're using this, the trick is to start from the bottom and mix, and just slowly pull the immersion blender up. So I'll show you. So I put down the bottom, and I turn it on. It's kind of loud, but I'm going to slowly pull it up to the top. And then once I get to the top, I just kind of watch it to make sure all the oil gets blended in. So here we go. And then you can write the date that it was made on the top. And like I said, I feel comfortable feeding this to my family for a week afterwards. All right, so next up is coffee creamer. So stay tuned. All right, so next up, I'm going to show you how to make your own coffee creamer with only 3 ingredients. You can get away with 2, but we use 3. So the first thing you're going to want to have, this makes it easier, is a quart jar. And this one has the marks on the side, and so you need 2 cups of milk. The marks on the sides will tell you how much, but it's half full quart jar. So we'll just take our milk and pour it in here. So there's 2 cups of milk. And the reason why we started making our own coffee creamer is it's actually pretty easy to make. And it's the ingredients we get to put into it, because again, a lot of the most popular coffee creamers, it's got like soybean oil and a bunch of stuff that I can't read. And I'm pretty sure if you left it outside for a month or a week or whatever, it would still probably be good to drink. So the next ingredient you're gonna want is condensed milk, and you're gonna wanna use the Eagle brand, this kind right here, because it only has 2 ingredients in it. It has milk and sugar, and that's it. So you dump a whole can into the jar, and the wide mouth jar works best because this will fit just right on top of it, and you can kind of walk away from it and let it come out. Sometimes this comes out fast. It looks like today it's coming out slow, so we'll just give that a couple minutes, and we'll come back and check on it. So if you just want to hurry the process along, you can always just take a spoon and scoop it out of here. Okay, so if you actually can make it with just these 2 ingredients, and that will be just fine, but we like to add vanilla bean paste, so this is the kind that we use. And so we'll just put, I don't remember what the recipe actually calls for, teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever you like. So we got our 3 ingredients in there, and then the last thing that's super handy is one of these lids. It has a spout and a handle, and it fits perfectly on top of these quart jars. I can link it in the description. I believe we just got ours off Amazon. I've seen them in like co-op stores and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy. It just screws on, and then all you do is shake. And then you could also, if you had an immersion blender, you could mix it that way. But this way is pretty easy. You just shake it up. And only my husband and I drink coffee in the house, and this lasts, I don't know, 2 or 3 days for us. And we're able to do this in the morning before work and stuff, and it only takes us, doesn't take us very long. It's not that big of a deal. And then there you go. So now you have your homemade own coffee creamer that you don't have to feel gross about drinking. So I showed you 3 different things that you can do today, or to start the process of being more mindful about things that we're putting in our bodies. So salt was one of them, making your own mayonnaise, and making your own coffee creamer. So if you give it a try, let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.